Well, Yeet Nation, I can't say that I was anticipating making a video like this early into the season. So, the Cowboys fall to the Arizona Cardinals 28-16 in week 3 of the NFL season. And let's just get the elephant out of the room, out of the way. I've said that in another video too, so that's apparently I like that saying. The red zone offense is terrible so far. Mike McCarthy, it's been 3 weeks as the offensive play caller of this team, and not a single wide receiver has a touchdown. Not a receiving touchdown, not a rushing touchdown, not a special team touchdown. No receiver has a touchdown on this team. I think the only receiving touchdowns, Rico had one in this game, and then the tight ends had 2 last week. But other than that, it's been nothing. So the red zone offense needs to be improved. It needs to be improved. Way too many field goals. They took 5 last week. Let me check this real quick. They took 3 this week. Could have had a 4th, but they decided to go for it on a 4th down. Didn't get it. Rushing defense, the defense in general really had an off day. So Diggs tears his ACL in practice. I didn't make a video about it at the time because, quite frankly, the only kind of videos I feel like making are the recaps of each week, and then I'll do predictions I'll pick the games next week because I think that's pretty fun. I don't know my record yet because the Monday night games haven't been played yet. It's 4:16 p.m. I'm actually filming this at a normal time for once. So, those games haven't been played. Let's hope Tampa can beat Philadelphia. We need that right now. Even if they don't, it's not the end of the world because the Commanders got shellacked by the Buffalo Bills. Sam Howell with 4 interceptions. That guy's supposed to be like the next big thing in Washington. Well, I don't know about that. But so the 3 biggest takeaways I have. The rushing defense was garbage. They allowed James Conner had 98 yards. Josh Dobbs had 6 carries for 55 yards, including a huge one on the first drive of the game. Rondale Moore had 3 for 54. It's just like, it's the problems from last year. They took way too many penalties. They took 13 penalties for 107 yards. You can't do that in an NFL game if you want to win. They won the time of possession, but it didn't matter because they couldn't get it in the end zone when they got down there. It's the most frustrating thing. They move the ball the entire length of the field. They get in the red zone, and you stall. I don't get it. McCarthy needs to get it figured out. It's not like McCarthy's new to play calling. He's done this for years in Green Bay. They need to figure it out. So they took way too many penalties. The red zone offense was garbage. And the defense had a letdown. I don't know if it's because necessarily of Diggs. I wouldn't think that the defense had a terrible game just because Diggs wasn't out there. But that remains to be seen. Donovan Wilson came back. He made a couple plays. I was pretty happy about that. Tony Pollard, I'll talk about the stats real quick. Dak went 25 of 40, 249 yards. He threw 1 passing touchdown, which was a screen to Rico Dowdle. And he threw a terrible pick in the end zone. But it really wouldn't have mattered anyway because they would have still been down by 5 had they got the touchdown and the extra point. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure the media is going to hop all over the interception. It was a bad pick, but did Dak cost this game? No. Dak was far from even the top 5 reasons why they lost this game. Brandon Cooks came in back, made a couple plays. Gallup was really big this game. He had 6 for 92. Okay. Well, apparently I'm having Canes for dinner. I just learned about that because I got a call. Well, I forgot what track I was on, but I think I was talking about the receivers. Michael Gallup came back. He had a massive day. Looked like his former self. That was great. 6 receptions. He had 92 yards. CD had 4 catches, 53 yards. Couldn't have had a touchdown, but he tried to play for the flag instead of making a play on the ball. So that's a criticism I can have of CD. The rushing, Tony Pollard had 23 carries, 122 yards. Pretty big day, despite glaring health issues on the offensive line, which I haven't talked about yet. Tyron Smith didn't play. Tyler Biadasz didn't play. Zach Martin didn't play. That's 3 of your 5 starting linemen that didn't play, and the running game was still good. Dak had time to throw for the most part, except for like the first couple drives were pretty bad, but other than that, they were solid. The offensive line, despite all those injuries, really wasn't the reason they lost this game. I cannot hark on this enough. All the pre-snap penalties. Okay, well, the line as far as blocking was good, but a lot of those penalties, the 13 penalties for 107 yards, a lot of them were on the offensive line. In fact, most of them pre-snap penalties, false starts, just mistakes you just cannot make. There was also a completely crap offensive offsides call on Wanye Thomas on a field goal the Cardinals were trying, and it was 4th and 5. It made it a first down. The defense forces a field goal yet again. So the defense was pretty damn bad in the first half. They got better in the second half. They were nothing like the past 2 weeks. And that's my takeaway. Too many penalties. Rushing defense was awful. And they can't get in the end zone. So, I really didn't want to have to make a video about a loss this early in the season, especially over a team that we thought we were going to run over. Arizona now has 7 victories out of 8 games over Dallas since 2006. It's one of those teams that for some reason they just can't beat them. I don't know why, but they can't. It's really unfortunate. Next week, however, head back to Dallas. We got New England coming to town, and that means you know who. Ezekiel Elliott. He had himself a nice game. Ezekiel Elliott went 16 for 80 versus the Jets yesterday. I'm really hoping he doesn't do that versus our team, because that's going to make me even more salty, because if you had Ezekiel Elliott right now, your problems in the red zone probably wouldn't be anywhere near as bad, because you could just hand it off to him. Like, instead of McCarthy calling all these run plays on 1st and 2nd down, if you had Zeke, you'd run it to him, you'd be getting a lot more touchdowns than you are right now. You really would. So it's just really unfortunate, but I hope they take this. I hope they learn from this. I hope they do not underestimate anyone. I'm not even necessarily sure if they underestimated the Cardinals, but what they did was not Dallas Cowboys football. That was not who we are. We need to be better. Next week, they will hopefully improve on their game. They'll learn from this, like I just said. And New England's offense is not a good offense. The most points they've scored as a team this year in a single game, I'm pretty sure it's 20 points. Dallas should win this game. They absolutely should win this game. And hopefully they get these linemen back as well. And then week 5, which I'm not really going to talk about too much yet, is San Francisco. You win that game, then all of this will be long forgotten. This will feel like centuries ago. But you've got to take care of New England first. Do not look ahead to San Francisco. That is my takeaways from this game. It's really unfortunate how they played. But hopefully we get a bounce back game. And I'll see you then, Yeet Nation.